This is Troubadours on Tour, a strategic movement game for 2 to 4 players, with elements of resource management, where each player is controlling the funds and careers of 4 different artists. It's a competitive game, where each player is trying to earn the most cred in the music industry over a career spanning 9 turns of gameplay. The game consists of 3 major phases: the movement phase, the actions phase, and the collaboration phase. During the movement phase, each player is allowed to move any of their 4 artists a total of up to 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've moved, you'll begin the actions phase. The actions phase consists of 4 parts completed in the following order: cutting an album at the studio, performing at venues, buying instruments at stores, practicing instruments at homes. You can only do an action if you have an artist on the applicable space. If there's no one in the studio, move on to the next available action, in this case, performing. Performing is the simplest action. Each artist on a venue space gets 1 coin for performing. If you have any money and any artists at a store, you can buy an instrument. The only instrument options in stock are the 2 instruments in the quadrant that corresponds to the store where your artist currently is. When you buy an instrument, you choose which one or more you'd like, and you spend 1 coin for each instrument you buy. After buying the instrument, you can add a creative juice token to the appropriate instrument space on the album card belonging to the artist that bought the instrument. Practicing is a bit like buying an instrument, except that your artist needs to be at a house. You don't have to spend any money to practice. However, the artist practicing does need to already have at least 1 creative juice for the instrument they'd like to practice. Like buying an instrument, they can only choose to practice the instruments that are in the same quadrant as the space they're on. These are the instruments they may currently be inspired to practice. So to recap, this artist can't practice guitar or saxophone because the instruments aren't in the appropriate quadrant. Even if they were, they also don't have any creative juice for those instruments. However, they can choose to practice either the drums or piano in this scenario. So when practicing an instrument, discard the appropriate card and add another creative juice token without spending any money to do so. When all the actions are done for your action phase, replenish any instrument cards that were used on your turn. On some turns, you'll have artists in the studio where you can cut an album. This is a major opportunity to earn cred that will help you win. Cutting an album costs 5 coins, regardless of how many artists you bring to the studio. You can bring just 1 artist, or you can bring all 4. Each artist performing on the album brings in a base value of 3 cred. So it's worth more cred to have more artists performing on an album. You also get an additional 1 cred for each creative juice you have on the regular instruments of each artist in the studio. Also note that the instrument in yellow on each album card is a featured instrument. Any creative juice you have for featured instruments will actually be worth 2 cred for each creative juice token. Here's the total for all the Creative Juice tokens on both regular and featured instruments. After this, go ahead and move your token to keep track of your cred. Now you can finish up your action phase if you have any options left outside of the studio. When your actions are done, it's time to collab. In order to collab, your artist needs to share a space with another player's artists. When the game starts, each player is dealt 5 collab cards. 2 of them are face up for all to see. These artists are actively looking to collab and will say yes to any other player that offers to collaborate, as long as the collab involves one of the artists they want to collaborate with. 3 collab cards go in your hand for only you to see. When an eligible offer to collab comes up, it's your right to accept or reject the offer involving the artists on these cards. When looking at your cards, remember that the artist on the bottom of the card, the larger artist, represents your artist. This artist is looking to collaborate with one or more of your opponent's artists, which are shown at the top of the card. So, you're looking for situations where one of your artists is sharing the same location on the board as one of the specific opposing artists that they want to collaborate with. Therefore, with the setup on the board right now, these are the only available options for the purple player to collaborate with the opposing yellow player. Once you identify a potential collaboration, go ahead and ask that player if they'd like to collab. Make sure to point out which artists you're seeking to collaborate with. You might suggest this collaboration because you know that you'll get 3 cred, and you suspect that they will get no more than 2. After receiving an offer to collab, a player looks to see if it's even an option. If they have no artists open to collaborate, they simply say, no, they wouldn't like to collab. However, because this artist is face up, they are actively looking to collaborate, and the player must say yes. This player may still see if they have any other relevant face-down cards that they could use in this collaboration. Their face-down cards show that they have another eligible artist that they can involve in this collaboration. So in this situation, although the purple player who initiated the collaboration may have expected to end up with more cred, they will still only get 3 cred, while it turns out yellow will get 5. After this, discard all the cards used and score the cred gained by each player. If any player used a face-up collab card, then they'll need to replace the face-up card with any card remaining from their personal hand. You may choose which card to put face-up. The cards in each player's collab hand get replenished every 3 turns. A turn ends whenever all players have done their full turn, consisting of movement phase, action phase, and collaboration phase. Move the turn marker forward after each turn as your career marches on.